Welcome to episode 126.
Whoop, whoop. Which is 9 in numerology.
Oh, for
which
real?
is
Yeah, that's
the
right.
number of knowledge.
You carry the 1, you take the 2, and then you put it to the 6, and then you add them up, and
yeah.
I think it becomes 9.
Right?
Adaptability, and it's kind of like the end of the cycle.
I thought it was. I always thought.
Everything.
I thought 9 was knowledge.
No, 7.
7
is
I
like
thought 7 was divinity.
Pursuit of knowledge.
It really depends on the system.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They all have slightly different interpretations. But
Well, I got a game.
I'm just
cast
telling you
system.
what's right. You know.
You got a what?
I got a game cast system. You said it all depends.
A
on
game
the
cast? You
yeah.
got a game
But
cast?
on Xbox, it's
Right. Right. Well, I got. What about Dreamcast?
Hey, producer man, can you turn me up a little?
turn you up in your ears.
Oh, he about to spit.
No, honestly, I am struggling to hear you guys a little bit.
No. Okay.
Well,
In my headphones.
okay.
Cool.
I'll work on that.
So we're doing a what if. It's been a while,
Yeah, it's been like 2 months, I think.
at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some pretty good questions here today. We're stacked, but before we got into the questions,
Yeah.
why am I saying that in past tense?
Before we got to the questions.
Before we get into the questions, my mom last week during Thanksgiving gave me this amazing relic from the past that we all decided that it just had to be read on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I had this aunt. She was my grandmother's older sister, and she was very special to me. So she's my great aunt. And she really was pivotal in helping raise me. And she only had one child named Wanda, who was born, I guess, in the 1960s, and she had Down syndrome. So she was a very high maintenance special needs child, and she when my mom grew up, she would kind of she was close with her, because they were close in age.
Right, yeah.
And anyway, yeah, she had some severe complications, and I don't know the exact nature of it because I wasn't alive in the 1970s, but she died at 17 years old.
Oh, wow. That's so
she
sad.
And then the terrible part is within just a few years of that, my aunt's husband passed.
Gosh.
So she was just, like a widow for the rest of her life.
My
But
goodness.
anyway, so for whatever reason, she was very fond of me as a child because she was always at my grandma's house. She practically lived with her for many, many years because she was 10 years older too. So her health started really declining long in advance. My grandma's health has not declined.
Yeah.
She'll be 90 next month.
And she's like a spring chicken.
Yeah.
She's spry.
Oh, dude, I was telling Nick this last week because I hung out with him and his dad and his wife Casey the day after Thanksgiving.
And Jeremy.
Of course, yeah, my brother. But on Thanksgiving, I hung out with my grandma, and I just always like messing with people to try to say something to not in a mean way, but to get them to laugh or to react or whatever. So my grandma walks up to me and I give her a hug. I said, "Dang, Mima, have you been hitting the gym?" And without even pausing, she looks at me and goes, "I've been grating cheese." Dude, she's about to turn 90. But anyway, so
That's so funny.
25 years ago, 30 years ago, when I was a baby, her sister, which is my aunt, she was 10 years older at that point even. So she was already in her 70s by the time I was basically born.
Yeah.
She died at 86
She'd
or something.
be 100 if she were
Oh,
alive.
yeah. She would be 100
Right.
if she was alive today.
Right.
Roughly.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so she was super fond of me. She was always around. I grew up down the street from my grandma, and both of them were school teachers before they retired. So, they were always helping me with my homework. Mom and Dad were running a business. When I was in elementary school, I'd get off the bus, and I'd go to my Mima's house, and then her and her sister, the school teachers, they'd be, tutoring me with my homework, helping me with my spelling, this, that, and the other. So, anyway, so my aunt was just crazy about me, man. I was her favorite boy. And, so my mom would send her my letters that I wrote at school. And my mom just gave me this the other day. It says, okay, so this is from my aunt, written to me about a letter that I'm going to read that I wrote in a creative writing, I guess it was English class. I don't know if you even call it that in elementary school. You're just learning to read and write.
Yeah, it's probably just English class.
But, so this is what my aunt said. "I found this story with your picture you sent by mail, and we thought it was a treasure from Treasure Island. OMG, I love it so much. Notice at the end you advertise people come to the parks and might go home with millions. Smart ad campaign for a young boy. And then it has a picture of me when I was 7 years old when I wrote it.
Aww.
All right. So this is the story. It's laminated. This is literally from when I was 7 years old. And
Is that a treasure map?
it's ripped up. It's Treasure Island. It's the map to Treasure Island. Yeah. And I had ripped it up and turned it in like this to the teacher. All right. Treasure Island by Ryan Bledsoe. Some rich guy made an island off the coast of Jamaica about 1,000,000 bazillion years ago. Then he buried all of his money off on the island. That was like 500 trillion billion million $1,100. He was never found again. He spread his money all over the island. Bill Gates invented Microsoft and got a lot of money. Not as much as the rich guy. A guy named Philip Johnny Bob found $1 gajillion. He bought the island, sold it, and then bought it again. That rich guy's money never ends, really. Anyway, Philip Johnny Bob opened water parks, theme parks, skate parks, carnivals, fairs, and much more. He had over $1 zillion. Then he named the island Treasure Island. He too buried his money. Neither was he found ever again. This island is nice for vacation and family fun. Go here and you might come home with a couple of $1 million.
Bro, if you bury your money there, you disappear.
Yeah, it was straight up,
Bro,
dude.
but it's like, how many 500
Zillion.
a million bazillion years ago?
And it's still open.
It's still a theme park.
It's still a
and
theme
a
park,
carnival. Hell, I mean,
And
it
a
might even
skate
be a
park.
casino by now.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
might,
think I
yeah.
knew about that when I was 7.
Oh my god, dude.
No,
And you
much
just-
more stands for casino.
Dude, I haven't seen this until last week in like 25 years.
Is so legendary, dude.
Talk about a what if.
Yeah,
Dude, it's like Atlantis X One Piece.
It's like Atlantis. meets
What
One
if
Piece.
Treasure Island?
Yeah, exactly.
What if Treasure Island was real? Treasure Island is real in all of our hearts.
Yes, it's real within us. If we believe in Treasure Island, it will never cease to exist. I believe in Treasure Island.
It's funny because there's like a Disney story called Treasure Island. It's not even original.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And Treasure Planet is literally an adaptation of Treasure Island as well.
You know what? I watched that recently and I thought it sucked.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like it? Did you watch it for the first time?
First time. Like
That makes
2023, like this year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't like it.
There's probably some nostalgia.
It just
associated
honestly
with
was like, it was really weird. But yeah.
You
so-
watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
With who?
Me?
Oh, just you?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times when I was working, I would just be throwing on movies.
Mhm.
I didn't know what to watch. That was, I wasn't really like super deep into One Piece.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just throwing on movies. I didn't care what it was. If it was good, bad, didn't matter. I just wanted something playing, and that was one of them. And I thought it sucked.
Yeah, what if we just talk about One Piece this whole episode?
You know what I was thinking last night? Hold on. We can get into the what if thing shortly.
We
but
will.
I had this idea last night. Dude, we were talking about, and this is going to be spoiler free because neither of us are through it. Nick he's like hundreds of episodes ahead of me, and I'm still in the beginning at the ripe old number of 379 or something like that.
Yeah, you're closer to the middle than you are the beginning.
I guess that's technically true.
You are.
Yeah, I'm closer to 500 than.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm near the middle.
I consider you towards the
I'm a
middle,
third of the
yeah.
way through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't usually think about it like that, but that makes sense.
Mhm.
But yeah. So last night we were watching One Piece together, and I didn't say this because we were watching, but I had the thought like, how cool will it be when it's over? Yeah, when will that be, right?
Right.
But when we're all caught up on it, we've seen every episode. How sick would it be if we go back and we start cataloging all of those like mind-blowing moments like we were talking about, like the hundreds of episodes, like the whale and then Brooke, and you're like, what the,
Yeah.
and like all those little moments that are set up hundreds of episodes in advance. If we just try to stockpile them and just like boom, 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 boom
I love
after
that.
we're done.
Yeah, of
You know?
course. Which, like, technically the show is supposed to be in its last saga now, which will probably consist of 3 to 5 arcs, which, if they're anything like the last couple arcs, will be hundreds of episodes long. So we probably have at least another 1,000 episodes.
Really?
So we'll be fine. Yeah.
Perfect.
Honestly, that's what I'm thinking at least. Or they could can start condensing stuff. But think about it. I mean, the past like 2 or 3 arcs have been well over 100 episodes. Some have been. I mean, Wano was almost 200.
It was like 180 or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then the ones before then were very long too. So if that's the case, and we have 3 to 4 or 5 more arcs, then it's at least like another 500 episodes.
Yeah.
At least.
Get those numbers up.
I know.
Like, I don't want it to end.
No, we'll see. Like Egghead is starting in like 2 weeks. That's the new arc. And they've like done some of it in the manga, but who knows, dude? I want it to go for another 10 years.
Yeah.
I truly do.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, I'm a Thriller.
What
Bark,
if time? Yeah, Thriller Bark, dude. It's actually amazing.
Yeah.
It's actually
I love it.
So sick, especially towards the end of that arc.
Oh, dude, I'm there.
And if any of you out there watch One Piece, you know that after Thriller Bark, Ryan is going to be in heaven.
In heaven. Kind of already there.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
honestly.
so it's like everybody keeps telling me like, yeah, it's gonna pick up after that, and like I went into Thriller Bark thinking that like, all right, but now I'm kind of like, what if I was already there?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what if I was already in heaven?
Yeah.
And it just, the party keeps going.
The end. That's how the end of Thriller Bark is. It gets so cool. That's why last night.
Zoro got that new sword.
Oh, boy.
He got that new sword.
Yeah. That's why last night I was like, I don't want to stop watching. Like, we just kept being like, okay, one more. Because the end of Thriller Bark is like, that feeling's just going to carry on into the sun. The sunny.
I'm hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Thousand Sunny.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a obligation
we
to
do.
do some
We
what
do.
ifs.
Let's get into it. All right, you want to go first?
Sure.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
let's do the Patreon jar.
Patreon jar.
I like starting with the Patreon jar.
These are all people who are in our Discord and have submitted through our Discord.
Yes. Actually, let's talk about that for a moment.
Let's do it.
So we do have a Patreon, for those who are not aware.
Yep.
It is patreon.com/Bledsoe said so. Pretty easy to find. Also, like if you go to our Instagram, if you go to our website, bledsoesaidso.com, if you go to our Twitter, pretty much any of our social media, there's going to be link trees that are funneling you to everything that we have, including the Patreon. And we have a really beautiful, rock solid $5 tier where we have an entirely separate show from Bledsoe Said So called Full Disclosure, hosted by me. And we have an incredible Discord community. Yes. I just checked today. There's like 400 people in there.
Huh?
I'll show you.
Just like a couple weeks ago, it was like 360.
Keep in mind, some of those are like our family and friends.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
We probably got
there's
10
not that many. Yeah.
No, but there are that many. I don't know how.
No, I'm saying there's probably not that many of our family and friends in there.
Right. There's probably like
10
or 15 total, including us. 414 members.
What? Dude, I had no idea. Like 2 weeks ago, it was like 360. That's unbelievable.
It's been popping off in there.
Well, guys, listen. Yeah, the Discord is so awesome. It's if you don't even know what that is, it's just a community where you can like go in and just interact with a bunch of different people. There's 400 something people in there. We're in there every day talking to people. It's a very supportive, loving, amazing community. We laugh in there. We talk about what we love in there. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And also, we have like a Bledsoe Said So Minecraft server, and now a Bledsoe Said So Valheim server.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to play video games with us, or we have game nights, like, we do events with the Discord like once a month. It's basically your place to like come straight to us.
We hang out in there.
You get the events, you get the hangouts, and you get to be the first to know about anything that happens merchandise-wise.
Oh, yeah.
You get episodes early.
Pretty much
listen,
any news
rock
about
solid perks.
anything we're doing is always dropped in there first.
Yeah. If anybody out there cares, teasers to future Twiceborn songs there's a whole Twiceborn channel in there where we post videos and little teasers and stuff. So anyway, go over there, check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then I'll just say TBD. New tiers coming, new shows coming, new benefits coming, a lot of new stuff coming. Actually, we just came out. Dude, come on. It's the What If episode. I feel like we got to knock some of this stuff out.
Yeah.
But like we did just come out with a bunch of new gear. I'm wearing one of our new shirts. It's quite sexy if you ask me.
And a new hat.
Yep, and our new hat. And you don't have...
I don't got nothing on.
You got the bean?
He got the hoodie.
Here.
Oh, and the beanie. Let me swap. Install them real quick.
Here, Alex,
Talk
give me the
about
hoodie.
something. Okay, now switch to me. I got the beanie on. Look at this thing. It's embroidered. It's beautiful. It's got a nice
Don't put
stretch
it on. I
to
want
it.
it back. Just show it off.
It's nice and warm.
No, show it off.
I'll give it back.
And Ryan is putting on the new hoodie, the new signature sigil hoodie. It's so sick. It really is. It's embroidered. It's super soft. It's like warm and thick.
You got the camera on me?
Yeah.
Flex on him. Look at that. That shit on the cuff right out.
Look at that shit on the cuff right there. Oh, dude, he's straight up modeling this right now, bro. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
Let me
about.
get
Dude.
this right back.
Yeah. Go ahead. Anyway, y'all, obviously the merch is not limited to people who are subscribed to Patreon. That's available for everybody on BledsoeSaidSo.com. So, yeah, that's it. What are you laughing at, Alex?
You just walked in front of the camera.
So,
It's your show, man.
I mean, I like to think it's our show.
Yeah, I like
But
to think
yeah,
that, too.
so we got all that stuff out of the way, and let's just get into some what ifs,
All right.
dudes.
My dudes. You going to do it first?
Yeah, why not? I'll just do a Patreon one. All right, I'm giving the illusion that I'm shuffling them, but in reality, I don't know what any of them say because y'all filled the jar.
It's arbitrary.
Yeah, it's arbitrary.
It's our. Never mind.
It's arbitrary.
It's
we
arbitrary.
have. Wow, that was.
Oh, you know
terrible.
what? This is a good one.
Okay.
Good.
I appreciate this one. I really appreciate this one. You ready? From our homie, excuse me.
Omi.
Yeah, I say nay, our Omi.
Yes.
Spyboard Clubbered.
Spyboard Clubbered.
What if heaven exists outside of time, so we are already existing in that state?
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
That's deep, and I do believe it's true. You know, like that's the point of it. Like that's the point of awakening. That's the point of meditation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's to access that state that already exists.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, no, I think that too. You know, time is just something that we use to wrap our heads around. You know, it's not linear. It's never been linear. It's a big old ball. And so if it exists in the future, it existed in the past, and it exists now. Like everything exists simultaneously.
So time is the separator from where we are now in heaven.
Or just, yeah.
Right, exactly.
So,
It's just like,
which is interesting because
spirit world,
people
whatever.
say that 666 is the number of time.
really?
And so 666 being the opposite of heaven, or time being the devil, or that concept.
Yeah, there's something to that because like the idea. Okay, hold on. Let's go through this. So we have the idea or the myth of Saturn, right? It's like the story of Zeus. His father is Cronus.
Mm-hmm.
Time, the old man with the scythe who devours his young. He ate Zeus and his children. But also, like in the Bible, this is where it gets really complicated. And you got to really break out a lexicon, and you got to study the etymology here. You have the idea of Yahweh being this ancient kind of father god. You can look at like there's a thing called a lexicon or like a concordance where you can look at the exact origin of Hebrew words, and you can see that Baal and Yahweh are etymologically linked.
Ooh.
So there is
they kind of come from the same.
the root words. So and then again you have this is moving away from the lexicon concept, but like you have this resurgence of information about like Gnosticism, or even like if you look in the past, you can see there were Marcionites, there were Ebionites, there were alternative sections of Christianity that believed that the God Yahweh of the Old Testament is not the same God that Jesus was preaching,
Right.
which I do believe.
I do too.
You know, that's the whole premises of Gnosticism. But
essentially, you're saying that the gods of the Old and New Testament are different.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm agreeing with that.
No, that's
You
what
know,
what I'm saying.
That's what is said.
Yes.
Right? It's
I
like
believe that too.
that's
Think
the whole
about
premise.
it. Those two gods are extremely different.
Oh yeah.
They couldn't be more different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like the idea there is that Jesus was saying, and dude, there's so much evidence of this that Jesus was like, no, like the old God, that's not my God. You know, that's Satan, or that's Yaldabaoth, or whatever. My God is light.
Mm-hmm.
My God is love. It's you know, it's the truth, whatever.
Yeah.
And
so that oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, so I was just gonna say there's this idea that exists in multiple cultures, including, you know, if you think out of the box a little bit and you know your history and you know your etymology, including Jewish religious culture. There's the idea that Yahweh might have been Father Time. In the Old Testament, God was known as the Ancient of Days, right? This very old deity. You have in the Bible, they make mentions of people worshiping in the tabernacle of Remphan, which
I've heard that, yeah.
which the symbol of Remphan is the six-pointed star, which was also historically the symbol of Saturn, which also the alternative name for Remphan is Chiyun, which it's like you look at all these different cultures and they all had this concept of this devouring father god of time that eats the young, the children.
Yes,
just like Moloch burning the children for sacrifice, you know. And
right. Yeah.
that's where he's going with that, with the devil being associated with time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Saturn myth. It's the myth of Saturn devouring his children. So,
which is crazy. This question in general, it's just really crazy that, you know, the concept of heaven being here already, the concept of time happening all at once on the other side, at least. Like, this is the slow realm. This is the realm where things happen slowly, but on that other, it's just like what Bobby was saying when he was here last on his episode, that like, what if the soul moves at the speed of light? Like, you know, he's like, what if when we get to that other side, everything moves at the speed of light? It's like the speed of light is that harmonious forever. It's not a now, a then, a future. It's just the speed of light is existing outside of time almost.
right. It's like the original state,
Which is why
of existence.
Which is why, like, you know, like, it's not like we haven't figured out a way to go the speed of light. Scientists have known for decades it is not physically possible.
Yeah.
We cannot go. Right. We cannot go. We can go potentially 99.99999 repeating, but we could not go the speed of light. It is impossible. It is just completely impossible. And so it's almost like, is that built into our reality intentionally?
I think so.
Because that true full speed of light is infinite, is infinity, is heaven, is the spirit realm. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Is that how you get there?
You're onto something.
You know, is that how you get there?
This makes me think of 2001.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He goes through the wormhole.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's in this weird other realm.
You don't go there with a body.
Yeah.
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 Well, for what it's worth, even though it's not really related to this, I did find the Bible scripture that was talking about, it says, yeah, you took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan, which figures you made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon. Acts 7:43. So I was just bringing back the concept of Alex and the myth. The whole reason I brought up like the lexicon in the Old Testament and the New Testament was to say that there's a hard, like, tangible, knock on wood, here is evidence that there is some form of Saturn worship that is existing in Israel, Babylon, the Middle East. It's not exclusive to Greece and Rome. Mm-hmm. It was universal in ancient times that there was some sort of dark Saturnian force. I know that's not related to the question of heaven, but my brain nerds it wants to tell you the symbols and all the details when you start talking about mythological deities, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, super
great
cool
question.
stuff.
I kind of brought that up just to kind of put that basable on the tee for you.
Yeah, I love talking about some ancient Saturn worship. But you know what, though? Let me end up on a positive note. As we know, in the realm of Bledsoe said so, we understand that nature, or rather symbols, as they exist a part of nature, are not inherently evil. We know, we just talked about it on the Da Vinci Code episode, the six-pointed star, although it may also be associated with Saturn, we understand that the symbol itself is not evil, and it has an even deeper meaning, and it is the sword, the phallus. You know, you could think about that like the sword of Arthur or the Thor of Hammer.
Phallus and chalice.
Yeah, and then the chalice.
That's interesting though, because there's 6 again.
Yeah.
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 But guess what, dude? There's what's the sixth element on the table? Can anybody look that up for me?
I'll pull it up.
I have no clue.
Let's find out if it's carbon
Which is the building block of life.
of organic matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Six electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It
Yeah,
is.
Carbon.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like, is the number 6 evil? No.
No.
You want to know
No.
some? You want to hear some facts? 666 is not the real mark of the beast. It's actually
No.
616, and it is a gematria cipher for the Emperor Nero.
Yeah.
It's not actually
No,
666.
666 is time.
Yeah,
As far as,
666 was
like,
made up.
just being very
It's
basic about it.
completely misconstrued. That is not the
Yeah.
real mark of the beast. It is very clearly 616 and the original manuscripts. I had to walk through this in like courses in college, like academic, breaking down what it really means. These professors are going over the different editions of the manuscripts, the history of when these edits came in. Bro, they didn't just sit down, write the Gospels, and then it's like, poof, here you go. Like, no. Over thousands of years, there's thousands of edits.
So how did they come to the conclusion that the actual mark of the beast was 616?
Because that's how it was originally written.
Oh, so it was literally written 616 in the.
It was never. Yeah, exactly. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Gotcha.
You could look it up. Here, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. Mark of the Beast 616.
Yeah, because I'm just curious.
You could even type Emperor Nero.
Who? Yeah. Okay. 616.
It's just the original number. A
That's,
fragment of the earliest papyrus gives the number as 616.
Mm-hmm. Most manuscripts of Revelation 13:18, a fragment of the 616, number of the beast. 666 is generally believed to have been the original number of the beast in the book of Revelation in the Christian Bible. In 2005, however, a fragment of Papyrus 115 was revealed containing the earliest known version of that part of the book of Revelation discussing the number of the beast. It gave the number as 616. One possible explanation for the two numbers is that they reflect two different spellings of Emperor Nero / Neron's name.
Yeah.
For which, according to this theory, this number is believed to be a code for his name.
Emperor Nero. Yeah, because, these Gospels, most of them were written after Nero had the Holy Temple destroyed. But the Gospel Mark was written in about 69 AD, and the temple was destroyed in 70. So at this time, there was a lot of unease and chaos and violence towards Christians and Jews because the Romans were subjugating them, enslaving them, making them pay taxes, destroying their holy relics, erecting statues of their gods, and just crucifying them, slaughtering Christians, peeling their skin off, burning them, just absolutely dismembering them. It was the Roman emperors were some of the worst motherfuckers in human history.
Absolutely, dude. They went around the world and stole everything. And enslaved everybody.
But anyway, that's not the point. The point is they were describing the beast that's bringing about the end of civilization and of their culture and of their world. And, this evil figure that rose from hell to overthrow. It was Nero.
Wow.
At the time. It wasn't about the original Mark of the Beast thing. It wasn't about, thousands of years in the future. No, it was about what was happening right then. It was Nero. They believed it was right then. It was the end.
That's crazy.
But anyway, not quite the question. That's why I like these episodes, though, because we get a good question, and then it's like we just...
Sets you on a path.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
Great question.
Great question. Want to do another one? Let's do one from the regular jaw. 2?
No, that's just peace.
Okay. All right. Peace to you,
But that also is like, let's do it.
Peace to you, my brother. What if nothing happens in 2026? At Ozarks VAP? I don't know what that is. Ozarks UAP. Oh, I was like, what? VAP?
I mean, I kind of feel like it's very possible that nothing will happen. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like the sky opens up and there's a portal and a fucking UFO comes through. I just think it's going to be like exactly like they said. The stars are going to align so that there could be an energetic shift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, we're not out there telling people that some thing is going to happen on the day. We're just saying there's going to be an alignment and a new knowledge will come.
That's it.
That's all I know.
Yeah, a new knowledge that could take the form of so many different things. You know, it could mean anything. It could be some big reveal or revelation or something, or it could just be, like you said, a wave of energy that washes over the planet.
What I really
and maybe
think.
fills everyone with curiosity and compassion. Who knows?
I think we're being very subtly energetically tuned over time, you know, just by like cosmic forces. It's not anything that is overt or that we necessarily know about. I think this is what's going on. And I think when these major celestial alignments occur, they allow, you could say, like dimensional or spiritual energy to kind of pulse and like tune us up even more.
Yeah.
You know, there's evidence that we're affected by these celestial bodies. I mean, every single month crime is up on a full moon.
Yeah.
That's just
absolutely.
fact. That's fact. To deny that is ignorant. It's fact.
It is. It's been that way for as long as we've had recorded history.
Exactly.
Like
lunatics.
That's Luna.
Ticks. Yeah.
Luna
like
is our
from
moon. Yeah.
Exactly. But no, I'm just saying, like, when we have the super rare alignments, like this year, you know, Pluto was in Aquarius for the first time in 250 years.
Wow.
A couple years ago around Christmas, we had I can't even remember. We had this crazy ass alignment, and then they said, oh, there's monoliths popping up. Remember?
Yeah.
People were putting them there.
Right.
But still, I mean, there was a rare alignment, and there's all these rare alignments that are happening in the last few years, and I think 2026 is just going to be like one of those rare alignments, but it's going to be like the rarest of all. That's going to have just a really big shift. I don't think anything will necessarily just happen that day, but if it does, both are still true.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? The energetic thing, but also like, what's it called when you self-fulfilling prophecy?
Right.
Like if the world believes it enough, then something's going to happen because it'll be caused
That'd
to
be
happen.
cool too.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So either way.
We wouldn't be mad about that. You want to pull the next one? Alex!
Go for it, brother.
Crunch it around.
Crunch it around.
Crunch it.
All right.
Crunch.
Black Metal Viking.
Let's go.
Me.
Yeah.
What if psychedelics are connected to the entities?
Let's go. We about to talk about some hippie-ish, y'all. My favorite.
Yeah, I love that. It's like, I need to gather my thoughts on that.
I mean, like, yes, because it's all connected.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
But
to get more pointed,
Uh-huh.
I think that psychedelics get you closer to being entity-like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think they take you to a state of selflessness in terms of losing self, which the pure entity, the way that I think about it, is they're not people, they're not ego, they just are.
Yeah.
And I think you get closer to that state when you take psychedelics.
That's a very interesting thought.
Yeah, and I see that. I see that because, like, you know, if you do psychedelics and you have like that ego death experience, you feel like a changed person afterwards.
Absolutely. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's cannabis. I don't care if it's LSD, psilocybin, DMT. I don't care what it is. I think all of these things at the right level have the potential to elicit that feeling.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, yeah, you're definitely changed.
You are. And I'm wondering, like, you know, just to delve into this question a little bit, like, more thoroughly is like, why though. What is happening? Is it a thinning of the veil? Is it...
Well, immediately I think that mushrooms, just to take one example, are more intelligent. So I think entities are more intelligent than humans, and I think that mycelium is more intelligent than humans. So maybe it's just a game of intelligence and awareness.
Yeah. So what about LSD then?
Right. That's the thing. You can get ego.
No, I'm
death
serious.
from-
It's not a trick.
I know. I'm not.
Let's put our heads together.
Well,
I
look,
think LSD is in its own category, being a man-made psychedelic.
Not quite.
it's not.
I thought the same thing, but it's not. It actually comes from ergot root,
Yeah.
which
Same stuff as ayahuasca.
not quite.
Well, it comes from the same place, right?
Not quite.
Oh.
It comes from ayahuasca and DMT are the same thing.
Oh. Okay.
Ergot is the root that LSD grows from. But like, dude, we have real evidence that in the ancient mystery school of the Eleusinian mysteries and the oracles of Delphi, they had these magical potions that they would drink called kykeon, and one of the actual ancient ingredients of this was ergot, the root of ergot. So like there's this idea that these ancient initiates of the mystery schools were taking psychedelics in their rituals.
Yeah. And it seems like for the most part, all of these different psychedelics have a similar effect on us, being that ego death thing.
Oh, we can't forget peyote too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mescaline,
but
whatever.
having that ego death thing happen, that seems to be the desirable focal point for all of these psychedelics. So I'm just like, what physically is happening in the realm or in us that is causing us to feel closer to the realm beyond?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it feels like it might be it feels like there might be something built into us, like an inhibitor or something that blocks our perception of the realm beyond.
Yeah, it's the ego.
Right.
Right?
Yes,
The
exactly.
ego.
And
I'm not
then-
being funny. Like that is the block.
Right. And then, ego death. You remove the ego, you can see the place beyond. You can see the realm beyond. I think that's what it is. Even if it's just like a small percentage, and that obviously depends on what type of dose you take or whatever, whether it's very small or freaking massive.
Isn't it interesting how all these substances do the same job in different ways? Like, you get the same end goal, but the journey's different, and it kind of makes me think of, like, just to relate it, like, being wine drunk is different than being liquor drunk. It's different than being beer drunk, but you're drunk.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like basically the same thing, but not really.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. It
The
is
effects
interesting.
are different.
Yeah. It's like all these different things can have like the same desirable effect on you, which is that ego death thing. Is wild.
I have zero experience with LSD, but like everybody I've spoken to that has had experience with it, whether they had a bad trip or not in the moment, I still feel like just knowing them, they have all benefited very positively in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, it's a psychedelic after all, and that stuff is typically, if done safely and considerably, or with consideration rather, it can yield very, very positive results.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You always hear the stigma about it, like, it's like this, it'll fry your brain, it'll get locked up in your spine.
Yeah.
But then, like, you could watch the documentary. I thought it was really good. I think it's called How to Change Your Mind. And
on Netflix?
Yeah. And they go into the history of how it was like, in the 1940s, there were over 100,000 successful trials. Hear that number again.
Yeah.
100,000.
Yeah.
Or at least like 40,000. I can't quite. I think it was like 120,000 or something. Dude, earlier today we were talking with Jenny about a Siloc Cybin, mushroom study where they had 23 subjects.
Yeah.
23, and we're all talking about the data. Dude, they had like 100,000 successful treatments of depression, addiction, all kinds of issues with LSD in like the 1940s. The real psychiatrists like implementing this because it was discovered in the 1940s.
Right.
You know? And then it was only until it was about 20 years later in the 60s when the hippie movement started popping up. And then they did the whole war on drugs thing. They unleashed Manson on the world. What was he? He was an LSD banging cult leader hippie.
Yep.
He was the perfect target to like, you know, to create him and prop him up and send him out on the world to scare everybody away from this.
Yeah.
And then 1970, boom, Richard Nixon's like, we're going to war on all drugs, LSD, cannabis. I think they called it marijuana because they wanted to make it sound, you know, like it's
foreign
Mexican
and
from
evil.
the border.
Yeah.
That was very intentional.
Yeah. Fucking scum.
And mushrooms and all of the psychedelics, they were classified the same as like cocaine, heroin, yada yada yada. Like it's the war on drugs, you know. It's like, why did these motherfuckers do this?
Oh, dude, to try to stop us from getting the benefits of those things.
Yeah.
Why would they want us to get those things when they got man-made medicine that can do that, and you can buy it for way more expensive.
You gotta have
It was
insurance.
the pharmaceutical companies and the tree companies that were in the pockets of the politicians. I'm pretty sure the tree.
I think both are true.
Big lumber was really upset with marijuana and hemp because hemp would grow 4 times faster and be way stronger as far as paper building blocks. Like there's so many applications for like industrial hemp that would blow big lumber out of the water. So big lumber was a big factor in getting marijuana illegal.
It would honestly, like, it would impact a lot of different industries. Like if it was just widespread, fully worldwide legal, it would upset many, many, many industries. The funny thing about that is us, the civilians, the consumers, the average person, we don't give a shit. It would be better for us if everything was made of hemp.
Right.
It would be cheaper. It would be easier to get. It would be like, you know, and we could smoke it too, you know, and that's great. But they don't give us that because they want to make their dollar.
Right.
If the hemp can be used.
It's deeper than that.
Well, of
I
course.
think what
There's
both of y'all are
reasons.
saying is true, but I think there's another layer where it's also like keep them docile and sick and don't allow them to wake up.
Of course.
I think it's both.
Yes, it's multifaceted.
It's the money and the power.
Yes.
The mental power over us,
Absolutely.
you know?
I feel like the money is the goal and the mental power is the amazing side effect for them. They're like, well, we 2 birds with 1 stone, whatever, you know? And it's like, gosh, like the people should be the ones in control. Like we should be the ones making the decisions like this. What should be legal? What shouldn't be legal? Like what we can use for our consumer products and what we can't, like, you know?
The pharmaceutical industry would be in flames if they legalized psilocybin.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Up in smoke.
Oh, dude, yeah, it would be dust in the wind.
We'd be
like
smoking
Kansas.
on that
I
pack.
mean, literally, like if we all had access to psilocybin and we, you know, educated, there does need to be education, I think. And we had access to that to treat like depression, anxiety, PTSD. I mean, any list of mental problem that you could think of somehow or another, psilocybin helps with it. And there's proof of this. And there's emerging data that's supporting it without a doubt that there's like literally 0 negative side effects to psilocybin and that it transforms lives. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine how much the psychotropic drug markets would suffer because people wouldn't want that shit anymore?
No
because
way.
They would just want the thing that's unlimited, that grows all around the world and is cheap. And maybe if it was legal, we could even grow it ourselves.
And it's natural, you know? And it's has natural. Long-term lasting effects.
And 0 side effects.
Yeah, except
or I mean,
negative. Except a good time.
Well, yeah, you trip, but you know, it lasts after that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It
changed the world. I think it's going to happen.
I think it will too. Absolutely. We're seeing it happen right now with weed. It is in the process. And I would say year after year, we get closer to it just being 100% unanimously legal. And then next up is psilocybin. I mean, you already have some states legalizing it.
Yeah. Like Oregon, Colorado, I think, is it like Maine or Michigan? One of those two. I always get those two confused for some reason.
I think even California has it.
I think so too.
Yeah. Now. I'm pretty sure it's legal there.
Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, there's a few places.
I think it's happening.
I think like Missouri's talking about it. I mean, it's starting to pop up in so many
And
different
it's like,
states.
how are states like talking about legalizing psilocybin, but North Carolina still hasn't legalized weed? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing, dude?
Yeah.
We're historically like behind.
Slow.
We're
yeah.
historically slow.
We're kind of like Texas, I guess. We're a little just
Mhm.
behind on things. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
We got
it's
to
okay.
really make sure it works first, Bo. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We got to test it out first.
Yeah.
Like prohibition, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah, but keep going to the bars and keep just drinking your life away. That's legal, right?
That's what they want us to do.
Yeah, everybody just go drink. You
Yeah.
know?
Honestly, it makes more sense. Like if one between alcohol and weed had to be illegal, it makes more sense for alcohol to be illegal in my mind.
Yeah,
It's more dangerous.
absolutely.
Way
It
more.
kills expenentially more people.
Infinitely more
it's
people.
like one of the leading causes of death in America.
Yep.
It's also just, but then you get like that psychology in play, though, right? Because we've made liquor illegal once,
We have.
and more people got killed.
Yeah.
More like all this.
I'm not
weird thing.
advocating.
Oh, yeah,
for,
make it all legal.
Right.
But then
Yeah.
then you look at states that have made weed legal, and then underage use of marijuana declines because it's legal, and
It's
it's
not
now-
taboo
not cool.
anymore. It's not taboo
it's
anymore. Yeah.
And
no,
it's
I
not-
think we have this weird like
Gentlemen,
counterculture.
That's why it should all be legal.
all of it. All of it. Every
all
last
of
bit
the
of it.
crime of, I mean, this is going to sound crazy. Prostitution.
It should.
It should
That
be
doesn't
legal.
sound crazy.
Well, to a lot of people out there, it will.
You're right.
I'm
You're
not
right.
supporting it.
You're right. It
Meth,
should be legal.
It should all be legal.
All of it.
Because then, yeah.
Because then it's all safe. It's all regulated. It's all monitored. It's not hidden in the shadows. It's out in the open. You can get help for it. It's like it's destigmatized. It's it's
but also the taboo is gone. So exactly like what Alex was saying. And I'm sorry I cut you off, but Alex was saying like the kids that in states where marijuana. I really don't like that CIA propaganda term. I like saying
me either.
cannabis.
Weed.
But
Dope.
I think cannabis sounds a little bit more like future oriented.
It's a high class.
Yeah, it's
term.
classy.
I just love the term weed.
But I don't like saying that because then it gives me that like I try to think of
Weed
who out
feels
there.
like high school.
Yeah,
That's why I say it. Because that's when I learned
Stay in
about
high
it.
school.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah. Weed.
you do got the beanie
The
on and like
weed,
the
kush, the herb.
the dro.
yeah. I like the term herb.
Yeah. It's like, dude, if you legalize all of it, then the allure of it being taboo will be gone. So those knucklehead people in society who want to like engage in these taboo things, it's like, oh man, well that's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Exactly. Yeah, but also if it's all legal, then you can have facilities in place all over the place where people can go and consume those things safely and not have to get some dirty needle from an alley and potentially die,
Right.
It's safer. Right. We it's like let's just save as many people as we can. Let's save as many people as we can, and also let's give people as much freedom as we can. That idea
I just think crime will plummet.
I agree.
If they legalize all those things that are like part of the underworld, again, it's not supporting.
Dude.
It's not saying go do cocaine, go do hair. It's not saying that.
But look at the amount of damage that something like the Mexican cartel causes. If it was all legal everywhere, that's gone.
Right.
That's
Then you roll
gone.
into I don't know, the whole conspiracy of how our government is involved in all the drug trafficking.
They are.
Oh well, duh.
And
They
that's a major underground revenue generator for
America.
all of these off the books projects that these 3-letter agencies are taking part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying everybody's bad, not everybody's corrupt, but
Right.
you get to be so big
It
for your
happens,
britches
though.
that it happens.
It happens.
So I don't know.
It sucks.
Don't get me fired up. Let's get to the next question.
Okay, yeah. Next
That
one.
was a good question. I always love a good conversation about psychedelics and the war on
I do
drugs.
too. I did
But the
too.
war of the
Oh,
war.
I love it. I'm just about to go off the rails.
the war on drugs era, like the 60s, the movement of LSD and psychedelics and all this stuff, it is a fascinating period of history to me.
Mhm.
I love just
It really is. The 60s were fascinating. Charles Manson, you had the moon landing, you had what's his
2001.
name? 2001.
the Beatles, bro.
You had what's the author's name
The Beach Boys. Which one?
of Rosemary's Baby?
I don't know. I know.
forget,
Who
but
wrote
that
the
was
Pull it up. I'll pull it up.
that was
talking
a,
about Roman Polanski.
the
That's the
director,
director, yeah. I don't know
Roman
who wrote the
Polanski.
book.
Right. There was all kind of craziness happening in the
Yeah.
60s.
Plus a lot of like Christopher Lee occult films.
That's true.
That's in the 60s.
That's true. Wait, which ones came out in the 60s? Dracula, maybe?
No, lots. You'd have to Google it.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Yeah,
I've
let's
seen
find out.
several of them.
Is it your turn to read one?
Yeah, Ryan's turn.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, here. Again, there's no rules here. Nick, you'll really appreciate this. Christopher Lee movies. And then
For those of you who don't know, Christopher Lee is the guy who played Saruman in Lord of the Rings and Count Dooku in Star Wars.
in the he was the original Dracula.
The original
too. Yeah.
Dracula.
He's also in Wicker
He
Man.
was one of the original Bond villains. I think he wasn't he Goldfinger?
I don't know. The man with the golden gun. It just popped
Man
up.
with the golden gun. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he was Dracula in 1973, The Satanic Rites of Dracula. Dude, he's played 1973, The Wicker Man, Dark Places. Oh, he was in the original Three Musketeers, Horror Express, Dracula, I, Monster.
It's tons of horror movies.
Tons, most of them occult. Scars of Dracula. Ooh, The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes. Here we go. We're getting into the 60s here. Dracula has risen from the grave. The Crimson Cult. Apparently he was in a couple kung fu flicks. The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism. Dang, he really was in a few kung fu flicks about Fu Manchu.
Have you seen that interview of him like talking about like
Yes.
warning people
Yes.
about getting into the occult?
Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Dracula, Prince of Darkness. The Terror in the Crypt. The Whip in the Body. I want to tell you some of the stuff that I've seen. They could have been in the 70s, but he was just in a lot of occult movies, and they're really good. That's actually cool because they talk about like the left-hand path and like a lot of different rituals and things like that. But yeah, what an interesting time for humanity.
Yeah, seriously.
Right?
There's
The 60s,
so much going
the
on.
70s, all that.
There's so much
Then you had the
going on.
80s where you got stuff like Disney.
The height of consumerism.
Bro, if you yeah, exactly. If you look at that era, just to sum it up, Disney coming out with Black Cauldron, the film for children in 1985 tells me how dark the culture was at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got stuff like Evil Dead and all this like dark crazy shit coming out, all the slasher flicks,
all the slasher
exploding.
movies coming out.
Yeah,
in the
all
80s.
this explosion and horror in the
Yep.
1980s.
Yep.
And then you got Black Cauldron, little kids watching that from.
Yeah. You also have lots of like terrifying like sci-fi and fantasy movies coming out in the 80s, like very dark.
Yeah, I think I was wrong there. I think a lot of his movies that I was talking about that were occult were in the 70s there, so my bad. All right, next question.
Next question. We pulling from the Patreon jar again. What's it gonna be?
Okay, from Merkaba Star.
Merkaba Star.
In our Patreon. What if Antarctica houses ancient Lemurian ruins and this has been hidden from mankind to protect the false history narrative that we have been taught?
I don't know what those are, but I'm going to say yes.
Lemurian ruins. Lemurian is like
It's like
Atlantis. It's like another like
like they got all the relics.
right, yeah, and they
Yeah.
were also another society that like civilization that flooded.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like Treasure Island?
Like Treasure Island.
Dude, they got that man's money in Antarctica.
But, well, no. Treasure Island was off the coast of Jamaica.
Yeah,
Yeah,
duh.
but they
Jamaica.
raided Treasure Island and took it to Antarctica.
Oh, well, whoever goes takes a million and, 500 bazillion years ago, ever since stocking up money and taking
Yeah.
it
Wait.
to Antarctica.
So you automatically get $1 million if you go to Treasure
a
Island?
couple million.
You might.
A couple.
You might
Wait,
get.
so it's a
couple million.
might. It's like you got to find it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I mean, there's endless wealth there. There's bazillions
But
of
if you
dollars.
had the resources, you could harvest quite possibly $1 bajillion
A
Yeah.
burjillion?
You could.
if you had the resources.
What's the difference between a bajillion and a burjillion?
And a Brazilian.
And a
Wait a minute. Describe that in vivid detail.
Which one?
describe that in vivid detail.
Remind me what that is.
Yeah.
What?
In fact, you could just Google it. Show me.
Put it up on the screen.
Yeah. Enhance.
Hey Siri, show me a Brazilian.
No, don't Siri. Siri, don't. Hey, what was the question?
Yeah,
even again?
it was about Lemurian ruins.
Oh yeah, what if Antarctica?
I mean, it's like, how could we know, right? I mean,
right. It's parallel. It reminds me though of One Piece, the Void Century.
yeah,
You know that they're trying to figure
like
out
the dark time where
It's like low key, like basically, it's like some ancient civilization that had these powerful like weapons and like,
knowledge.
and knowledge and technology and all this stuff that we have lost. What? What do you want, Alex?
What I'm learning is if you have 1,000 episodes, one of them is going to remind you of anything.
No, that's a big plot point,
bro.
Okay.
Bro.
That's
No,
a big plot.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point of One Piece, really, is like there's a gap of 100 years in history where no one has any record of what happened because it's being hidden from the entire world.
That's got to be real too.
But oh, dude, I think so. But there are these crazy hieroglyphs. They're called poneglyphs. There's like a few of them in the world.
and only one living person can read them.
One living person can read them.
Obviously,
and
she's on Luffy's crew.
Yeah, and they describe what happened during that 100 years. And also some of them describe how to like make the technology from back then. Like, you know, like
And
the
then-
one, spoiler alert, the one she found in Skypea, you know, what was the Pluton weapon thing is what they were, or no, that was the one in, that's what they were looking for in Alabasta.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Alabasta.
Yeah, no. The one in Skypea was just like I don't even remember if it said anything significant. It just talked about like a path. Like it didn't have any of that kind of.
Right. It was the one in Alabasta.
Right.
That
yeah,
was the
it was.
Pluton weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's another layer to One Piece, which is really cool, where it's like there is the world government and there's like Marines and the Navy. Alex, you hear me, dog? I'm just making sure. There's like the Marines and the Navy, and they are like putting up this front to the world that they're the protectors and they're the good guys, but they're actually not. They're like the bad guys.
They're being controlled by
Yep,
the
and
world
it's,
government.
It's like it's the reverse. Like in real life, you know, it's like, oh, the pirates are evil and they're criminals, and then you got like the government. But in reality, it's like it's the world government who are the bad guys. But then there's like this group of 5 elders.
They are the world government.
The 5 elder stars, yeah, and they control like the entire world.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I like pirates, like old timey pirates.
Yeah, you would love One Piece, bro. It's
But
sick.
I
There's
feel like I
5
could be a pirate.
You probably could. What
Like
would your
I
pirate
have-
name be?
I have to think on that. Do we get a pirate name? I mean, I feel like Alexander's like a pretty piratey name.
Yeah, it's got to be like Alexander
Arr.
the something.
Hold the phone, pirate name generator.
That's a good idea.
Green boys.
Oh, yo, but also, hey, whoa.
What?
You hitting at something?
We are the Green Boys,
Yeah,
aren't
you're
we?
right.
We always have been.
We are the Green Boys and always have been. Hey, Alex, another cool thing that is in One Piece is that some of these really high up people that work for the world government, like they're in this group called CP9, which is so obviously the CIA.
Yeah.
And they all have like low key like superpowers that are all manifestations of their self-belief.
Yep.
Like they can do things that are outside of the possibility of the human body because they believe they can.
Kind of like how the CIA like remote viewed and all that.
Viewed
they have
and like
powers.
cloud bursting.
Everybody, it's not that
and the touch thing where with the goats where they killed the goat.
Right. But in One Piece is different,
Right.
but it's the same. It's like anybody can do it, but the military has this secret training and this secret knowledge about it.
They have that exact shit in One Piece. It's crazy.
So
You know how cool it would be to put candles in your beard?
Oh, like Blackbeard?
Yeah.
Alex,
It would be so sick, dude.
your pirate name is Swashbuckler Sparrow.
That's epic. That's
Yours-
Maybe a swashbuckler sparrow.
Yours is Periwinkle O'Patches.
Yo! That's legendary.
Mine
Wait,
is
what's mine again? I forgot.
Yours is Swashbuckler Sparrow.
I got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, write these down. Mine's Periwinkle.
Wow.
What
Mine
was
is
it? Periwinkle. Oh,
Periwinkle
O'Patches.
O'Patches.
Oh, patches. Write it down for me.
Mine is Rascal Kid,
That's good.
like KIDD.
That's
That's slick.
Rascal Kid.
That's slick.
awesome. That's very fucking
All right.
awesome. I know a pirate named Kid.
Now
KIDD.
we're gonna do a different one real quick. Why not? We'll cross reference here. Okay, this one's a little more complicated. So Alex, yours is what the hell is odd years? What does this even mean? Are you an odd year or an even year when you were born?
I'm even.
You're an even year?
I'm also even.
Oh, okay. Even year. Your birthday's the 28th?
Yeah.
You're toothless
Nice.
collectivo Molly. What? These are terrible.
What?
These are terrible.
Did you go to a different website?
Yeah, it's Milwaukee Pirates.
I'm going to combine the two.
Milwaukee Pirates.
I'm
What
going to
is
combine
that?
the two and call myself the Toothless Sparrow.
That was terrible.
Toothless Sparrow.
I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, that's what the fuck is a Milwaukee Pirate?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Scouring the oceans for the booty.
All right, here we go.
Just watch One Piece already. Dang it.
No.
Oh, Alex's
Yes.
One Eye Shipwreck. His
Ooh.
alternate
Hey.
name.
He be the one-eye sparrow.
Yours is Shipmate Puffy Pants.
Yes.
And mine is One Leg Shipwreck.
What?
And that's old one leg.
Yo, you want to hear something crazy? You ever notice that there's no characters in One Piece with an eye patch?
Yeah.
None of them. Which is like the most.
Am I tripping here, or didn't Oda actually say he's about to finally reveal a character with an eye patch?
I think he said that he's like saving it towards the end towards the end.
Like
yeah.
it's going to happen.
Yeah. Apparently he was.
Bro,
Apparently
this is a
he-
One Piece episode.
I know. I apparently he never introduced a character with an eye patch because he always knew that like there's a very important special
There will be
character
one.
that will be the iconic like, eye patch guy.
Dang.
I wonder if it's like a character that's already been established or if it's going to be one like a new one that shows up and has an eye patch or whatever, Because like Zoro like has his little eye scar thing like but he doesn't wear an eye patch.
Right.
And then like I don't know. But apparently eye patches be making you strong as fuck. According to Oda.
I mean, yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be lit.
We be needing to pull from the regular jar.
All right,
Well,
let's do
I feel like we should. Is there anything? I mean, we really didn't even hit the question. We just kind of avoided it. Is there anything, Lemuria and Antarctica? I mean, here let's wrap it up here.
I forgot about that.
Here's the thing. I don't know much about Lemuria. I really just don't. I don't really find it particularly fascinating, to be honest. I'm more interested in like Atlantis. I believe that that's real. I do. But as far as Lemuria, like I don't know. I wonder. It's like, are we just making up a bunch of different names here?
For the same thing.
Yeah, like I don't know.
feel that
I don't
too.
get that.
Well, we were making up names.
Well, yeah, but that's our pirate names, Alex, and that's just as real as the sun that rises and sets every day.
Whoa. Jeez.
But no. My point is like I believe in the concept that there was this ancient society, this ancient culture, whatever. I don't know. Like I don't know. Was it in Antarctica? Was it off the coast of Mexico? Like some people say. How could I know? Was it off the coast of Egypt?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like
I
feel like similarly to so many other things in history, it's just a different name for the same stuff.
Yeah. Like
Same.
how could we know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting question, though.
It's a very interesting
I wanted to
question.
acknowledge that before we moved on.
Now, this one is from my lovely wife, Casey. What if the Mandela effect is a result of humans experimenting with time to see if we all notice? Now, what's up? What you got?
I'm going to get a headache from this question.
Why?
It's a great one.
It is a great one. But I'm just...
She has been on that Mandela effect wave lately.
She
I
has?
think last time y'all were here, we were talking about it.
And we were talking about that
Remember?
last night. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were talking about it last night, too. Listen, I might blow y'all's minds out there with this one. This is crazy. Okay, in your mind, if you've ever played Pokemon before, remember the Pokemon Onyx? And think about how it's spelled. Think about it. You've seen it a million times. You know how it's spelled. I bet most of you said Onyx. It's not, apparently. You go look it up now. It's Onix.
No, I could have sworn it was Onyx.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And so there's obviously...
Let me look it up.
That's just the latest one that's been blowing my mind.
So this would be like the little, like you go back in time and then you Whoops.
Alex broke his phone.
And then you trip on a leaf.
Right.
And then someone misspells it, and that's just the way it is.
But Casey's saying, what if they're doing it intentionally? What if whoever's messing with time is doing it intentionally to see how much we notice?
What if someone's stuck and is trying to scream for help in the most subtle ways that won't destroy the world?
That is funny, dude. They're just like, okay, if I change the Y to an I,
and the
maybe
Berenstein-
someone will come save me.
And the bears were spelt this way.
yeah,
If I take the monocle off the Monopoly, man, will anyone come rescue
dude.
me? I'm in this Lemurian tomb in Antarctica.
I want to look at some of the examples of the Mandela effect.
The Berenstein Bears.
I did just look it up. It is Onyx, Onix. And like I feel like I have no problem believing that, but
I do.
the
Oh,
thing,
the Fruit of the Loom
yeah,
with the cornucopia.
that one messed me up, dude. Well, no, it's also just the words now. But then again, it's like how much of this is just the company decides to change their branding and they don't make a big deal about it.
No. That's not the thing though, because that would be one thing, but people that get into this stuff, they go back and verify. They'll
That
go,
originally it was different.
yeah. They go back and like Looney Tunes. You know that one? You know that one?
No,
I'm fucked here.
Spell Looney Tunes.
I'm torn. Is it O-O or is it U-N?
O-O-N-E-Y?
Right. Looney.
T-U... Tunes. T... No,
O-
it's Tunes.
O-N-S.
T-U-N-E-S.
No, T-O-O-N-S.
It
Tunes.
is Tunes.
Yeah.
And it always has been. Dude, it's crazy.
That is just stupid.
Yeah. Hey, you know Curious George?
Yeah?
Does he have a tail?
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
He doesn't.
Yeah, I knew that one.
He doesn't, Alex.
No, he doesn't.
So how about
Wait,
that?
How
no,
does
but he
swing
did.
from his tail, though?
Didn't he?
No.
The dude's a monkey.
He ain't got no
I don't
tails.
think he swings
Fruit
from his
Loops.
Oh,
What are
we
we
talked
talking,
about this
spelling?
one recently. It's like it's F-R-O-O-T.
It is. Yeah, it's F-R-O-O-T. Yeah, dude. It's just like, yeah, the Monopoly Man and his monocle. What the hell?
He doesn't
dude?
have one, right?
No.
You want to hear one of my favorite ones? Is E.T. Phone Home.
E.T. phone home.
What? He never said that?
Nope, it's E.T. Home Phone.
Huh?
That's the real quote. E.T. Home Phone.
What?
He never said E.T. Phone Home.
Well, the other one is in Star Wars, Luke, I am your father.
Yep.
It was never Luke,
It's
I am
no,
your
I'm
father.
your father.
It's no, I am your father.
E.T. Home Phone. Obviously, your classic examples are like Chick-fil-A. Was there a CK in it?
Who cares?
Freaking Sex and the City. Sex and the City.
Right.
You know, Berenstain Bears.
Mm-hmm.
It won't no stain.
It won't no stain. It was
Yeah.
Bernstein. Bernstein Burrs.
E.T. Phone Home. Pretty
so
sure it's E.T. Home Phone. I don't have to pull it
Yeah,
up.
I'm gonna go with someone stuck, and they're trying to send us mess. They can't, you can't break everything.
Yeah, you gotta do little shit.
Right, and maybe he's spelling out, "Help me, I'm stuck in the year so and so," but you gotta organize.
You have to put them all
you
together.
You gotta solve the puzzle.
Damn.
I just like I do believe that the Mandela effect is real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious that
Go ahead.
there's changes in our collective memory.
Right.
I just don't know that anyone's out there like doing it on purpose just to mess with us. I feel like who has the time and the resources for that? I feel like if they were doing something like that, it would probably be for way more of like an insidious reason.
Right.
And then those things like the Mandela effect, artifacts, are just like symptoms of greater changes that are taking place.
Right.
They're just like the evidence.
of
it's
greater
not the
changes.
goal.
Okay, so you think they're side effects?
Side effects
They're-
of changes in dimensional.
Okay, of dimensional
shift or-
shifts.
Yeah, dimensional shifts.
That's actually what I was going to ask.
Like, I don't think they're like, let's fuck with reality and change the letter on this.
Right.
Like
it's not intentional, but
just
it's maybe a
happens.
side effect of. I mean, reality has to be such a volatile thing to hold all together. If you
it's like
think
a
about it.
lotus. It's a blooming lotus. It's so multifaceted and multi-layered.
Yeah, yeah. I have no problem believing that the Mandela effect stuff is real either. Like, it's wild. But we did it, boys. We did it. We're we out of here. We about to be out of here. All right. Thanks for.
I think I'm chill with that.
That's cool, cuz. I'm about to go cook you some dinner.
Heck yeah, man.
Thank you for another lovely What If episode. If you guys want to submit more, you can submit them in the Discord or underneath one of our designated posts for What If. You know, we do those every now and then. So yeah, throw your questions at us. Try to make them open-ended, something we can really dig our teeth into and ponder. You know, don't give us the answer in the question, but get creative with it.
Yeah, like the idea is very open-ended questions to help us initiate engaging conversation. Because the idea here is like, you know, we do kind of need a break from like doing all of the research and then like just dumping information at you. I think it is valuable sometimes for us to talk about things like sparked by you guys, but it's hard to get the conversation going if the question is like so pointed and specific that it's like an answer baked into a question. It's like, well, no, just, you know, like I think the questions we got today were great.
Yeah, just for example, some of our favorites, like honestly, this what if nothing happens in 2026? Like that. It is short, it's concise, it's open-ended. It's, you know, that's a good example of a great what if, and it sparked a great conversation.
Wait, are there some we didn't read?
Yeah, I pulled them out and I was like,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I won't tell.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Cool.
So yeah, that's it, y'all.
Awesome.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys. Much love.
Much love. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Guys.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, check out our other videos.
And before you go, don't forget to subscribe. See you next week.
Peace.